and welcome to the next instalment of the revision sessions with me, Mr. Summerhays, and my hat. This one is on the Locarno Treaties in 1925. So, the background to Locarno is this. Germany had decided, all their politicians had decided, that being obstructive to the Treaty of Versailles was not getting them anywhere other than the raw crisis, and we all know what happened there with hyperinflation and the economy being destroyed. So certain politicians, including Joseph Wirth, had decided to follow a policy of fulfillment, agreeing to certain parts of the treaty in the hope perhaps they would get concessions on other parts of the treaties and the other powers would treat them more leniently. Gustav Stresemann carried this on and actually proposed Locarno to Britain, France and Italy and Belgium. So those 5 countries met in Switzerland in 1925. Britain was hoping that Germany would be accepted back into the international community, because what they didn't want is for Germany to go further down the road of Rapallo and become pally with the communists in Russia. And the French were just desperate for any sort of guarantee over their borders. The Italians, well, Mussolini, was quite happy to play the big statesman on the world stage for the first time, as he'd been having a certain amount of problems in Italy and had just made himself a dictator, or was just about to. The meetings then were generally quite successful, and there was an acceptance, a guarantee Germany would not change. They were happy to accept their western borders with France and Belgium. They signed treaties, as did the French and the Belgians, saying that neither would attack the others, and if they did, Italy and Great Britain would guarantee the other countries that had been invaded. So it is a mutual assistance pact. It worked both ways. France couldn't invade Germany, Germany couldn't invade France or Belgium. There were a couple of other things discussed at Locarno, removing troops from the Rhineland, and the French reaffirmed previous treaties they'd had with Poland and Czechoslovakia, which were the Little Entente treaties. Russia were notably absent from Locarno. They weren't there. What didn't get down so well, and what's seen as being a failure of Locarno, is for the Germans to accept their eastern borders with Poland and Czechoslovakia, the Polish corridor. Now, Britain weren't too fussed about this, Austin Chamberlain famously saying that the Polish corridor wasn't worth the bones of a single British grenadier. The French would have liked it, because obviously that's where their allies are in Czechoslovakia and Poland, but were quite happy with their western borders, or the western borders of Germany, being guaranteed. The Italians would have quite liked having Germany's border with Austria guaranteed, so that Germany would not become neighbours, a greater Germany with Austria, and it would not become neighbours with Italy. But like I said, Mussolini was just quite happy to be there in the first place. So this has been seen as a success, and it's been associated with a Locarno spirit, a willingness and a want to get together and agree things without the League of Nations, in the hope that it will bring about peace and cooperation. And it was the first time really that this had happened, mainly because it's the first time Germany had wanted it to happen. But Austin Chamberlain, Briand and Stresemann all worked hard to make sure it did happen, and they all got the Nobel Peace Prize because of it. So well done them. That's about it for Locarno. The French still didn't trust Germany, and the Germans were still fairly aggrieved over the Treaty of Versailles. It hadn't taken that way. The British weren't really particularly ready or in any position to help either countries out in the case of invasion. But it was this spirit of Locarno that was the main thing that seemed to come out of it, that people weren't worried about invasion, weren't worried about things like that, because there had been some sort of agreement. Okay, I'm done.